Yo, what up? Um, this is going to be a quick reply. I know I always say that, but this time I'm not going to read um, the full articles. I'm not going to play the whole video. I just want this to be, a quick reply on what he said about me. So we are going to start now.
You know, that's like that dumbass shit that Don Gordito be saying. Well, well, Big J, and because I was talking about that stupid ass AJ and seeing red, right? Well, Big J, well, he put his son through college, and as if, okay, if we gonna do this shit, right? Okay, there was a man who was.
So first, I want to say it's funny how he'll claim that I'm running interference when it comes to him attacking the people he disagrees with in his space. But then on the other hand, he's always involving me in their beefs. We've had multiple conversations, multiple back and forths about this, and he's always asking my opinion. But when I give him my opinion and it doesn't align with his opinion, I'm running interference. But as y'all see, he keeps putting my name in this beef.
Who was an alcoholic, who was a beater, who was a wife beater and a child abuser. So we so the son the father of Gerald Ford. Yeah, I'm gonna use his analogy because Don Gordito said the most stupidest shit to me about AJ and seeing red, right? It was so dumb. And that's why I always said Don likes to play in, interference for those fucking fuck boys on Reg's channel. So his thing was, remember when the woman's son that shot that man and when they were trying to when they were trying to get the food, and you hear AJC Red talking about blaming black single mothers and all that stupid ass shit he be saying about Chicago. And then his excuse was then Don Gordito gonna come to me talking about, well, man, fathers, his son, you shouldn't. He's not dumb because look at his father. Okay, if we can go by that logic,
So, what I said when you continually call AJ dumb and stupid, I said he's not stupid, regardless of the fact that you don't agree with his delivery. He's not stupid because, first of all, he's an electrician. Number two, he helped raise a kid that has a full scholarship to become an engineer. He's going to college on a full scholarship to become an engineer. So he can't be stupid. Even if you don't agree with him, his ideology, his opinions on single mothers, um, excuse me, in his delivery, he can't be stupid. That's what I said.
fathers, his son, you shouldn't. He's not dumb because look at his father. Okay, if we can go by that logic, because the son.
So I apologize, but I'm still having mic issues. So I was talking and it cut off. So again, I apologize.
Or the child is successful, that supposed to mean that supposed to resolve of the sins of the parent.
So that wasn't the topic of discussion. Like I didn't say anything like that. I just said he wasn't dumb. I mean, I don't know where you get sins and stuff like that from, but that's not what I said.
So by that logic, we supposed to overlook the alcoholic woman beater that Gerald Ford's father was. We're supposed to overlook the alcoholic and abuser that Ronald Reagan.
Okay, so I want to focus on Gerald Ford because he's right. His biological father was an abuser and an alcoholic. But this is what Big J is not telling you. He probably didn't know this, which it'll be shocking to me if he didn't know this because he said he studies history. So this is from pbs.org. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to go right here. Okay. So his mother's name was Dorothy Gardner. This is Gerald Ford's mother right here. And this article that I have that I'm scrolling down from is from the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Library and Museum. So I'm going to put this link in the description box as well. But let's go back here. So Gerald Ford's father was named Leslie King. Okay. Leslie King wasn't an abuser. He was, and he was an alcoholic. Dorothy divorced Gerald. Leslie. She divorced Leslie King, moved back to Michigan, and that's when she found. Oh, I'll read it to you. It says, divorce was rare in 1913, but an Omaha court found King guilty of extreme cruelty, granted custody of the child to the mother, and ordered King to pay alimony and child support. King refused to pay anything. Okay? By good fortune, in her son's first year, Dorothy Gardner King met a man whose character matched and complemented her own. He was a tall, dark-haired, and amicable bachelor named Gerald R. Ford. By trade, Ford was a paint salesman. In the community, he was respected as honest and hardworking, kind and considerate, a man of integrity and character. Everything Dorothy's first husband was not. Now, this is the sentence that you guys want to pay close attention to. The next year, she married Jerry Ford, and her 2-year-old son grew up as Jerry Ford Jr., believing his stepfather was his true father. Okay? So, Big J, your analogy it doesn't make any sense because Gerald Ford didn't grow up with his biological abusive father. He grew up with a loving father. Matter of fact, I'm going to let Gerald Ford tell you himself the first time he met his biological father. Let me let Gerald Ford tell you. Fair use, fair use.
Mr. Vice President, I don't know how many people know that you, let's see, your mother was divorced at a very early age.
When I was less than 2 years of age.
That's why you don't remember Omaha.
No.
And did you ever meet your real father? Do you know him?
Yes, I did.
She
when
remarried,
I
I believe it.
My mother remarried, or she married a very outstanding civic leader in Grand Rapids. She had left Omaha and came back to Grand Rapids where her parents were living, and I came back with her.
What is your stepfather's name?
My stepfather's name is Gerald R. Ford, and
You took his name.
I took his name. He had.
You hear that? So this guy right here, the 38th president of the United States, Gerald Ford, his real name is Leslie King Jr., but he took his stepfather's name because his stepfather raised him. Now he's going to get into when he met his biological father.
He adopted me when I was in my teens.
Oh, that's right.
And,
you were born King, I believe.
I was born Leslie King Jr., and when my mother remarried, why, I took the name of my stepfather, and actually, until I was about 17, I didn't know that Gerald R. Ford was not my father. I learned indirectly first by inference, and then I had I think, an interesting but a very startling experience as
Fair
a
use,
young
fair
person would
use.
have. I was working at a restaurant from the high school where I was
Excuse me.
going to school, and I used to work from 11:30 till 1 and make hamburgers and wash dishes and take the money that people paid for those kind of lousy lunches we served. But anyhow, I was standing there working one day at this restaurant my senior year in high school, and I noticed a man standing across the rather narrow store, standing in front of the candy counter. He stood there for a long time. He was a stranger. And finally, as I was handling some food or washing dishes, he walked across and said, "Leslie, I'm your father." I was a little startled.
Okay, so that's enough of that video. But you see that, right? He didn't meet his biological father until he was a teenager. So I don't see how you come up with that analogy. He didn't grow up with an alcoholic father. He didn't grow up with an abusive father. He grew up with a loving dad that happened to be his stepdad. And again, he didn't know that his stepdad was a stepdad until he was like, I think what he said, 17. All right, so let's go. Go back here.
Reagan's daddy was. Since though y'all supposed to be conservatives, hold on. Since y'all supposed to be conservatives, look at the fathers of Ronald Reagan and Gerald Ford. Those
So I'm not a conservative. We already looked at the father of Gerald Ford. Now we're going to look at the father of Ronald Reagan, but I want to see what you're going to say first.
two men was a bunch of savages, wife beaters, and abusers,
You're wrong.
and
You're wrong.
alcoholics.
So Gerald Ford's biological father was a savage. That is correct. But Gerald Ford wasn't raised with his biological father. Now, Ronald Reagan, you said his father was a savage too. That's kind of incorrect. His father was an alcoholic, but he wasn't him and his wife would argue a lot, but he wasn't physically abusive. Not that I know of. So let's go to how Ronald Reagan was affected by his father's alcoholism. Again, I'm not going to read the whole article. I'll put the link in the description box, but let's see here. And we all know Ronald Reagan's the 40th president of the United States. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to read. Okay, let's read this one. Reagan's mother told her son that his father was captive to a disease and was incapable of behaving any better. But their marriage was racked by loud arguments and instability. The family moved 5 times in Reagan's first 8 years. Money was always tight in the Reagan household as Jack struggled to maintain jobs. So that's why his father turned to alcohol, because he had a hard time providing for his family. That's why he turned to alcoholism. That's why he became an alcoholic. Reagan inherited his mother's love for theater and his father's interest in politics. Jack Reagan was a New Deal liberal Democrat, and Reagan's involvement in Hollywood politics at first tilted left. But after his father died, he began to lean right. Okay, let's see. Then basically here it talks about the reason why he made fun of quote unquote poor people is it was a reaction to his father's dependency, and you guys can read that. There's another article here that talks about Ronald Reagan, a complicated man, Ronald Reagan's father. Let's see. It talks about this time when he found him drunk. He found him drunk, outside drunk. Let's see. But I want to read this part right here. It says, yes, that's a sad story about, finding his father drunk. But Ronald Reagan's dad had his positives. He instilled in Reagan a work ethic and even communication skills that would serve him from radio to film to the presidency of the United States. His father taught him that success comes from within, not a handout. Reagan saw in his dad an ability to roll with the punches, a trait critical to Reagan's thick political skin. He also learned from his father a hatred of racial and religious discrimination. Okay? I don't want to read everything else, but again, I want this to be a quick video. But here's the article. You guys can check that out. Then we can read A Dad Like Jack, the influence of Ronald Reagan's father. So let's see. Let's see. There was something here I wanted to read. Oh, it's basically the same thing. He instilled in Reagan the work ethic that propelled him into radio, then the movies, and then television. Let's see. Okay, I'm not going to read that. But yeah, his dad was an alcoholic. And that, I know because my father's a substance abuser. It affects you negatively, yes, but there's also a lot of positives. He still, Ronald Reagan still loved his dad. And his dad still influenced him in a positive way. Let's see.
Don't believe me? Read upon the biography of Ronald Reagan. Go read upon the biography of Gerald Ford.
So sure, we can read the biographies, but you can also go to these links, this article, this article, this article. This is Ronald Reagan. Like I said, I'll leave the links in the description box. And for Gerald Ford, you have this one. You have this one. Well, this is like a picture of his mom, and it talks about what his mom went through. And this video right here. So your Ronald Reagan analogy, I can understand a little bit, but Gerald Ford, I don't get it. I don't see how you didn't know that he wasn't raised by his biological father. I don't know how you didn't know that, since you said you read his biography.
I'll wait. Since though that supposed to resolve their father, just because those two men became president of the United States, we're supposed to resolve what their daddies did. And
But that wasn't, man. I tell you, see, it's so hard to and so this is one of the reasons why I don't go on panels with him like that anymore. Like especially on his channel, because he just throws so much stuff out there, dude. Like that's not the topic of discussion. It was you saying AJ was dumb, and I'm saying he's not dumb. You're saying AJ's dumb because of A, B, and C. I'm saying AJ's not dumb because of D, E, and F. But he brings so much other stuff into a simple argument.
their daddy did not do a goddamn thing in their life. Don Gordito. Make excuses.
How can you say that when I just read you the articles of how Jack Reagan influenced his son Ronald Reagan? And then Gerald Ford, again, was raised by his stepfather, who was a huge influence on him. So how can you sit here and say that?
For AJ seeing rest through stupidity. Yeah, America made them. I'm just saying that Pookie, trying to defend the Pookies. Their daddy wasn't shit. So therefore, because
What?
their sons became the leader of the free world, that's supposed to resolve their fathers of their sins.
What? What? Like what? Like, uh, yo, what the hell are you talking about? Oh man, I don't even know what to say. I'm hoping that this is over because I just want to end this video. I think I proved my point. I'm gonna see what else he has to say before I end it.
They're mothers of their sins. Well, AJ is smart. AJ ain't seeing red is smart. No, he's not.
Okay.
Just because he's smart doesn't mean that doesn't pass on to.
So did you guys just hear that? So he said AJ is not smart. Then he goes and says just because he's smart. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead. Let's listen to it again. One more again.
Pookie, trying to defend the Pookies. Their daddy wasn't shit. So therefore, because their sons became the leader of the free world, that's supposed to resolve their fathers of their sins. Their mothers of their sins.
Hmm.
Well, AJ is smart. AJ ain't seeing red is smart. No, he's not. Just
Okay.
because he's smart doesn't mean
Did y'all hear this? He just said AJ is not smart. Then he goes to say, well, just because he is smart. Oh man.
doesn't mean that doesn't pass on to the child. That don't mean shit.
Huh?
That's the dumbest analogies I be hearing.
What? Yo, man.
Be saying some stupid ass shit.
Yo, man. Yo. Yo. Oh my God. Excuse me, y'all. I'm drinking water because my throat's dry. I hope this is over. Please, please.
And Buster Free Jones.
Okay, good. Thank the Lord. But again, like I said, I want this to be short. I'll put all the links in the description box, and you guys have a good day. Peace.